Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the JP Football Podcast. Look, I'm not in a good mood. Not in a good mood today. I'm really not. Um, Queens Park Rangers 2, Everton 2. Queens Park Rangers win 8-7 on penalties. And we're out of the third round of the Carabao Cup. What a shame. An absolute disgraceful performance and shame, specifically from our defense. Our defense today was bad. They were not good. Overall, now there were some that were okay, but overall, the majority of our defense was crap. Absolute crap. This is a championship side we're playing against. They're a full league lower than us. And our defense is telling me that we can't go out and we can't, I just, I'm just so annoyed. I'm just so annoyed and frustrated that this team, regardless of us losing a couple of our key players, this team should have been good enough to win today to move on to the next round. But no, we weren't. We weren't. It's not good. It's not right. This just goes to show that whoever said sell Richarlison, sell Dominic Calvert-Lewin is an absolute idiot. You are an absolute idiot if you think that selling Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin would be a good idea. Because realistically, who could we buy that can replace those two who would actually want to come to Everton, especially at this point, and, fill in all the goals and the gaps? Huh? Who? It's a shame. Coleman being out was a big blow too. No, we have a right back who's absolute crap. I'm so annoyed. Let's just get into it. So the formation we played was like a 4-4-1-1 that could be inverted into like a 4-4-2. Asmir Begovic started in goal. Lucas Dean was out at left back. John Joe Kenny was the right back. Mason Holgate and Michael Keane were the center back partnership. In the midfield, we had Alex Iwobi on the left, Andros Townsend on the right, Tom Davis, Andre Gomez center midfield. And then the second striker per se was Anthony Gordon. And then our front forward was Rondon. But Gordon and Iwobi switched. I saw Gordon playing on the left mid at times, and then Iwobi dropped into like a false nine for the second striker, but Rondon was up top. That was our starting 11. And look, that's a starting 11 that should have beaten this QPR team today. Really should have. The game started out whatever. It was, kind of back and forth stuff, it seemed. And then what did I tell you guys? I told you guys in the pre-match that Charlie Austin, Willick, basically the forwards for QPR were going to be the main threats to look out for because our defense was going to be the weak link, and it showed. Charlie Austin scores, the first goal. I mean, the ball is just whipped in and Begovic gets a hand on it, knocking it away, which was initially good. But then Charlie Austin heads it into the back of the net. I don't know who tried to clear it off the line, but it was no use. But, Charlie Austin heading it into the back of the net, by the way, we had like 4, 5, 6 people in our box, defenders in the box. And when that ball fell to Charlie Austin, he was just the first one to react. No one reacted on our defense. We were all like, we were just ball watching. No one reacted to the header. He has a free header and he puts it in 1-0. And by the way, on that play going up, John Joe Kenny is nowhere to be found. Like on the lead up to the cross whipping in when they were like playing down on the wing, John Joe Kenny was nowhere to be found. Andre Gomez had to help track all the way back, and he's just slow. Okay. Andre Gomez is just slow. Kenny was nowhere to be found. And that goes in. It's annoying. And we had early chances. Anthony Gordon, who, by the way, I don't want to speak ill of because Anthony Gordon was actually one of our best players today. I thought he was really, really good today going forward, creating chances in the attack. And he had a really good chance to put us up early on. But their goalkeeper, who, by the way, I thought their goalkeeper, Gang, or whatever QPR's goalkeeper is, I thought he had a really good game today. But Gordon, he hits it, Dang saves, and it should have been in. You should be scoring those. You look back on the shot and, Gordon shoots he shoots more towards the goalkeeper than really picking his spot. And again, I don't want to say anything too bad about Gordon because, again, he was one of our better players today. But that just goes to show that, he's not Premier League ready. He's not. If you're not scoring that against a championship side, what makes you think you're going to score against a Premier League side? And again, I don't want to start any controversy over Gordon. Look, all I'm saying is he should have scored. In my eyes, he should have scored. And it's just really unfortunate he didn't. But overall, Gordon was good today. He had a good game. He played well. He got his chances. And hopefully he can keep it up. And yeah, luckily, we got back into it quite rather quickly. We were passing, and then Andros Townsend, by the way, thank God for Andros Townsend, because if it weren't for Andros Townsend, who was my man of the match by the way, for Everton, if it weren't for Andros Townsend, we would have lost that game 2-0 probably, right? Andros Townsend has been an absolute, he was our best player out on the pitch today, and he's been one of the best players in the early stages of this season. He crosses in a beautiful ball, and Lucas Dean, by the way, played the best game he's had all season for Everton in my eyes. His defending was awesome. His goal was great. Townsend puts it on a plate for him, and Dean just slots it past the goalkeeper. Oh, by the way, and this is right after Alex Iwobi misses the chance of the season. Okay, we're on the front foot. We're attacking. Their center back makes an awful mistake. He falls on the ground. It's Iwobi one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Has all the time in the world, and he fluffs it. By the way, good goalkeeping. Was good goalkeeping. Keeper got down, saved it, but no. I refuse that. You smash it past that goalkeeper, Iwobi. You have to smash it past the goalkeeper. You're one-on-one. That should have been a goal. That absolutely should have been a goal. It's a disgrace. And Iwobi to me was whatever today. He was okay, I guess. But that miss right there lowers how he did for me today, because you shouldn't be missing from there. You should be scoring from there. And that could have changed the game quickly. Again, we should have had 3 goals in the first half. We should have had a minimum of 3. In my eyes, we should have had a minimum of 3. We should have won that game at least 3-4-2 minimum. All right. But we didn't. And by the way, this is why I don't like seeing Alex Iwobi in the starting lineup for Everton. That miss is one of the pure main reasons why. It is. Because Richarlison, he ain't injured. He's not missing that. Damari Gray, if he actually gets the start, he's not missing that. He's just not. Calvert-Lewin, he's probably not missing that. I know at times, he's not clinical, but that, I feel like it was harder to miss than to score, and Iwobi has done wonders, and he's missed. So yeah, Alex. Yeah. God, I don't want to say any more about him. But yeah, like I said, when Andros Townsend played in that cross, Lucas Dean got on the end of it, slots it past the goalkeeper. Okay, it's 1-1. I'm feeling good. And then, then QPR keeps attacking, on us. And then the cross is whipped in. And then Charlie Austin has a second. He just out jumps Ben Godfrey. Begovic, I don't know if there's too much Begovic could have done really for the 2 goals. I didn't think Begovic was all that great. I know he did all he could. He made the saves he needed to make, but he couldn't save a pen, which we'll get onto later. But Charlie Austin, I don't know if you saw, but it looked like he fouled Ben Godfrey a little bit. I don't know how much arm he got on him, but that's what it seemed. And he scored. And Kevin Friend, the referee, doesn't call it. By the way, Kevin Friend was absolutely horrific today. The referee was awful. He was He was an absolute bellend, okay? He was horrific. And Austin makes it 2. And that's Charlie Austin's second of the game, 2-1, going into halftime. But I wasn't worried. I actually wasn't worried. I actually thought, we could get back into this. We can do it. I actually had belief and hope. And that's what we did. We got back into it immediately. We win an early corner. It's whipped in low. It's flicked on. It's flicked on again. I think Holgate flicked it, or Iwobi flicked it. Then Holgate flicked it on again, and it falls to Andros Townsend, and Townsend is not missing an open net, okay? And Townsend gets a goal and assist. Thank God for Andros Townsend, right? Best player on the pitch for us today, by far. But, yeah, and by the way, the deliveries that Townsend was putting into the box were awesome. I thought every time he whipped it in, it looked really dangerous from Townsend. And I just have to assume if Calvert-Lewin isn't injured, he's heading in at least 1 or 2 of those on target. He really is. Ben Godfrey wasn't all that great today, in my opinion. He didn't convince me of much, which is a shame. He's had a poor start to the season. John Joe Kenny, I'm not even going there. He was our weak link today. Every time QPR attacked on the right side, I was so worried because Lucas Dean was doing a fabulous job on the left, but John Joe Kenny on the right, it's not it. He's just not it. He's not the answer. I don't think he's ever been the answer, to be quite honest. We need a new right back. And when January comes around, hopefully we can get someone. Anyone would be better at Kenny than this point. Mason Holgate, I actually thought, he was whatever. He was okay today. Holgate was okay, but again, nothing too fantastic. Tom Davis in midfield. I felt at some points in the game, he would disappear and then he would reemerge. But, Tom Davis, I don't know what else to say. Like, he did his job. He was okay. He did his job. Andre Gomez, he showed flashes of brilliance with like his passing ability and getting in. But my God, when he shot the ball, it was some of the worst shots I've seen all season from Everton. Andre Gomez cannot shoot. And the 2 times that he did shoot were, oh my gosh. I could have done better. And I'm not that great of a footballer, much less a clinical finisher, but I could have done better. I would have been on target at least, because Gomez, oh my, what god awful. Awful. And our forward, Salomon Rondon, didn't do anything today. And he didn't look match fit again. And he had to get subbed off again, which makes sense. And he didn't do much today. Didn't get too much service. I mean, he didn't do anything, guys. What do you want me to say? Yeah. The substitutes that came on, Abdoulaye Doucouré came on for Gomez, thankfully, and he made a little bit of a difference. And by the way, Abdoulaye Doucouré got fouled in the penalty box. I don't care what anyone says. That is a foul. Their center back gets no ball. He got no ball. He got Doucouré's leg, and Kevin Friend doesn't award a penalty when it's a clear penalty. And you know what? I'm sure whoever's taking our penalty was going to smash it in the back of the net to make it 3-2 to give us the victory. But no, of course not. Of course not. Then Lucas Dean came off, which was really unfortunate. I think it was something with his ankle, which sucked. Michael Keane came on. But honestly, I actually wasn't that nervous when Michael Keane came on, because I thought, okay, we're going to solidify the center back position a bit, because, again, Godfrey and Holgate weren't all that great. Godfrey moved out to left back, I believe, and then Holgate and Keane were the center back partnership, which, again, in my pre-match, that's what I feared. But when it actually happened, I was okay with it, because I was like, you know what? That's fine. And by the way, Michael Keane, when he came on, by the way, Townsend, or whoever played in the corner, I think it was Townsend, plays in a beautiful corner. Keane gets his head to it, and it just barely goes over the top of the bar. Michael Keane, you need to be on target. You know what I mean? You just need to be on target there, Michael. If you're on target, you're probably scoring. That's how close you are, but he misses it, and it's another disappointment. It really is. But yeah, King came on as a sub. Damari Gray came on as a sub for Rondon, I believe. Yeah, that was and unfortunately, he couldn't do much. Our subs overall didn't really, no, Doucouré did well, I thought. But Gray, he didn't do much. He couldn't really get himself into the game all that well. And the defense was pretty on Damari Gray, rightly so. And yeah, after full time, it ends up being 2-2, and we go into penalties. And I had a sickening feeling in my stomach. I had a really sickening feeling in my stomach that things weren't going to go our way. And unfortunately, things didn't go our way. This is how the penalty shootout went. We took our penalties first, which I was fine with. Mason Holgate, he converts his penalty, and I got it all here, wrote it all down to make sure that I got everything right. Holgate takes his penalty, he makes it. Charlie Austin for them converts his penalty. He was their best player tonight. He was the man of the match. So 1-1. Keane makes his. Ball makes his 2-2. Townsend makes his. Barbet makes his 3-3. Gray converts his. Willock converts his. So it's like, 4-4. Willock was great for them, by the way. Gordon makes his 5-5, and then Adama makes his 5-5. So we're going into sudden death here, Decore makes his 6-5, Duke McKenna 6-6. Godfrey, he missed initially, but the keeper was off his line. He takes it again, makes it. So 7-6 to Everton. Luke Amos for them makes his. So 7-7 on penalties, still in sudden death. And then Tom Davis, just what a poor penalty. I mean, no power. He hits it with absolutely no power, no confidence in the penalty as well. And their goalkeeper saves it. And at that point, you're thinking, we've lost. We've lost. And then Dunn steps up for QPR, puts it in the back of the net. Queen's Park Rangers wins 8-7 on penalties, and we get knocked out of the Carabao EFL Cup. Begovic, in my opinion, should have saved at least one or two of those penalties. There's no doubt in my mind that if Jordan Pickford were playing, he would have saved at least one or two, but Begovic couldn't save anything. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just an overall disappointing performance, and hopefully we can bounce back, on Saturday in the Premier League to Norwich. I don't blame Rafa Benitez. I blame our players. Maybe you can blame him just a little bit with like the lineup, but I don't see how you really can. Some players are out injured, knocked, some players need rest. And I think he was just trying to find the best team he could put out there today. Now, some people are going to argue, no, he should have played this for this player. But again, it's minor. It's very minor. Don't blame Rafa today. Not today. Blame the players today. Blame Iwobi for not being able to finish. Blame John Joe Kenny for being awful in defense and not reliable. Blame Andre Gomez for not being able to hit a shot on target. Although, I just blame the players today. The blame is on the players today for me, not the manager. And that's all I got to say. Again, QPR 2, Everton 2, Queen's Park Rangers wins 8-7 on penalties. I'll be over this in like a day or two, but it's a hard one to lose. It's a really tough one to lose. And we better come flying out on Norwich on Saturday. We better score 4-5. We better batter Norwich on Saturday. I expect nothing less. But yeah, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you have liked this video, just, you know what to do. Hit the like button. It only takes a second. I really, really appreciate the growth we've had. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the subscription button. Turn on your bell notifications if you haven't already. It only takes a second. And please spread the word about the JP Football Podcast, especially if you enjoy it. And as always, leave in the comments what you thought of the game if you saw it. And as always, if you want me to talk about certain players or a certain team, just leave that in the comments below and I will address it in the very next video. But yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote, ladies and gents. By the way, there is a bit of news on James Rodriguez, but I'm not bothered. I really don't want to talk about James Rodriguez today, so I'm not going to. But as for QPR, Willock was good. Chair was good. These are their players, by the way. Chris Willock was good. Chair was good. Charlie Austin, man of the match for them. Yeah, just like I expected their forwards when they were going to be the main problem, and they were. So, yeah. But yeah, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace.